Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and I want to tell you about the conversation that changed my entire advisory business. I was working with a client who ran a successful service company, and hey, you know what? Revenue was looking good, but cash was always tight. You know the story. Working harder, growing sales, but still feeling broke. Well, then it happened. We sat down with one sheet of paper, looked at 6 key numbers, and within 7 minutes, we knew exactly what was going on. And that's when the light bulb went off. Even though I'd used this technique for my own companies for about 15 years, describing it to another person and letting them see the insights that I had also opened up their eyes. So advisory doesn't have to be complicated, right? You don't need to break out a 30-tab spreadsheet. You just need the right questions, the right structure, and a way to get to the root of the issue fast. So that's what the 7-minute conversation is. It's the 7-minute conversation that I call the entry point into any solid advisory relationship. It's powered by a tool that I call the Home Run Financial System. Why is it the Home Run Financial System? Because it touches all the bases, a little bit from the income statement, a little bit from the balance sheet, and a little bit from the cash flow statement. You just take one page, and on that one page, you're going to look at those 3 statements, right? Profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and you're going to focus on 6 key indicators. It's the sales trends. It's the gross profit, operating expense trends. You're going to look at expense control. You're going to look at EBITDA, debt to equity, mismatched financing, and the cash flow activity pattern. Now, I know it sounds like a lot, but when you're trained on what each one of these mean and how to explain them in plain English, it becomes a conversation, not a report, such with trends. With trends, I'm looking at a couple different things, Is this good or bad, and did I expect it, right? We can talk through why we expected it or not and how it impacts everything else. It's the relationship between the trends that matter. Expense control is the one rule that rules them all. It's the one thing where if you violate this rule, you'll eventually kill your company. EBITDA is all about borrowing power. Most small business owners don't know how to use EBITDA at all. I teach them a way to calculate about how much they can afford if they need long-term debt. And that leads me right to debt to equity, right? Debt to equity is about what is the number that bankers look at to know if you got skin in the game. That's the debt to equity number. Mismatched financing is when we use the wrong loan product to buy something, right? And it's costing us money. It sucks out cash in the business in the form of higher interest, like buying a house with a credit card. And then the cash flow activity pattern. It's the tattletale of the business. No matter what story we tell ourselves, this is where the money came from and what we did with it. Right? So all of those things illuminate themselves when we look at it in, this order and in this structure. Now, what you're going to be showing your client is how to see their financial story, the thing that's behind their business on just one single page, right? One page, 7 minutes or less. And let me tell you why this works. It works because business owners are overwhelmed. Right? They got too much noise. There's too many things in their head. There's too many numbers. There's not enough context. And what they want is clarity. And they want to know, am I making money? Am I building something valuable? Why doesn't my bank balance match my success? Well, that 7-minute conversation is going to answer those questions fast. And it positions you as the guide, not just the number cruncher. So you're not just going to show them where their numbers are. You're helping them understand what they mean and what they should do about it. Believe it or not, this is the conversation that changes people's businesses, right? The first time I used it, or the Home Run Financial System with a client, I got to tell you, I was nervous. It was something that I used internally. I had confidence in, but I thought, what if my client asked me something that I can't answer? Well, what happened was even better, though. I walked them through the 6 numbers, and they stopped me halfway through and said, hey, no one's ever really explained things like this. Why don't people talk to me like this? I need to know these things if I'm going to run my business. That one conversation led to a monthly engagement. Then we had 2 referrals, and eventually it was an entire framework that I now teach to advisors around the country. This is the foundation of everything I do now. The 7-minute conversation isn't just a tool, it's a doorway into better questions. It gives me deeper trust and higher value work because nobody does this. Nobody explains the numbers like you can. So I'm going to show you how to use the Home Run Financial System, and it's right inside the Clear Path to Cash. So you get all 8 techniques, right? It's right there, and it's where every advisor should start just to educate and to get a quick glimpse into what's happening inside of a business. Hey, I'm Cashflow Mike, and this week I want you to take Just 7 minutes to change everything.